Look, there's a world of difference between those that do good when they can and those that don't. Those that don't you must keep far from you, for they are harm to you, and I do not want you harmed. And you don't wish to be harmed either. It's not that you are unfaithful in putting them afar off and keeping them afar off from you. You are not to nurse a viper to your bosom, and do not cast your pearls before swine. But yes, bless the righteous, those that love truly, those that give good for good, not evil for good. There's a world of difference between those two, and you must discern such. Else how will you keep heaven safe? Heaven keeps evil at bay. It doesn't deliberately harm evil, of course, but it doesn't keep showering good upon evil as if it were bearing fruit and blessing, any more than it would ever give evil for good. But they that give evil for good have much to learn, and the learning is about how evil is. And how else will they repel evil but knowing how evil truly is? So, believe it or believe it not, there are the hell worlds, and the evil experience such. Not because of some damnation from God, except to keep them from doing evil to the good. An evil person can do evil on a vast scale and cause pain and suffering. Pain and suffering is not of God. He is creativity and love, not destruction and despair. Those that long to give good for good come to God. Those that delight in giving evil for good are kept from God. Be reasonable, dear one. Would you have heaven destroyed by evil? Choose you this day whom you will serve, whom you will love. Are you going to love evil or goodness? What is loyalty? 'Tis to be blessing to those who are loyal and have blessed you. Does God then bless the evil? Of course. He gives them opportunity of life and experience of death, that they might choose life. In short, he gives them a mix of good and evil. But he doesn't let them near heaven, that they ransack the place. Be reasonable, dear one. Be loving and kind. Do not purpose harm and evil, but do protect the godly, else they will be ravaged by those that purpose evil for good. You don't want that to happen. So the angels of God are guardians. They keep the evil at bay in a different universe, different worlds. Does God not bless such people? Of course he does. Gives them opportunity to know good and evil. But those of heaven don't need to know evil, for they worship goodness in their depth of being, and should be in heaven. Let each be in his appropriate place. Those who have learnt don't need to still be at school. They've graduated. Those that have not learnt, they're still at school. Learning how good produces good and harm produces harm. And that some harm will destroy goodness if it can, and must be kept at a safe distance where you can. And where you can't, you experience more evil and learn of it, that you might choose the good forever and graduate to the kingdom of heaven. Harimai, Harimai, Harimai. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, you may be thinking, did he have another dream? Yes, you're right, he did. Marshall did. And in the dream, it was a cross between a wife and my mother. She had makeup on, but it was pale, thin, so to speak. And in the dream, she had declared, you might think this is bizarre, but anyway, she'd set aside, not even being vegetarian, but set aside being vegan. She said, because I had a son that was willing to eat eggs, she would eat eggs too. And in, you would say, my self-righteousness, I found this so utterly unacceptable and repellent. And I, with all fortitude, rejected her seeing this. And she fled to some neighbouring street. And then I was in the street too. And I saw the car that she had been our joint car at one time. I still had the keys. I drove off and left her to her chosen situation. And then somewhere in the maze I awoke, didn't I, to this world this morning. It's 5 o'clock now. I must have, I don't know, perhaps it was an hour ago now. The dream. I struggled terribly with this, that I should want to reject and reject someone who, well, was not up to standard in my estimation. Appalled at myself. For I said to myself, I don't seem to be a child of God at all. I felt as bad as the person I was seeing as the person I'd rejected. I was in confusion, scared to ask God to put it right, or perhaps He'd put it right in the way that I would put it right, apparently, and just reject and keep the person, her in this case, at a great distance. But did I put her at a great distance? No, she fled. Well, she fled because it was not appropriate to put up with my anger, I guess. My going berserk because she was choosing a path that I didn't accept. So that did repel her, of course. And it certainly didn't transform her. So I felt I was so utterly in the wrong. How could I have been like this? I have been so long suffering. With people that have been a harm to me. And when I say long suffering, I mean suffered much at their response to my being present in their life. You could say to being a doormat, to meeting them in their request despite their hostility to me. And here I was failing catastrophically, as I saw it. In such purpose. I felt a sort of despair creeping upon me, and I turned to God. Please resolve this for me. Knowing that I was not asking it from a view of my goodness, but from a view of my, you would say in religious terms, unworthiness. For this I felt deeply. And He rescued me with this understanding that I've given here in this recording in the first few minutes. I'm now just on review, aren't I? Comment. Do you see the essence of it? In case you've lost it, I'll repeat it again, briefly. You must keep evil at bay. It's not that you wish to return evil for good, but those that do, you must keep at bay. That doesn't mean you don't rescue them, like the Good Samaritan did on the side of the road. But you don't live with them. You don't share the rest of your life with them. Well, unless they choose the kingdom of heaven. But if it's clear they do not, they give evil for good, you pass on your way. What should they do? Oh, Jesus is clear. They should love the one that rescued them, as love them as themselves. And what is that? Well, it depends whether it's transformed them or not. If it's transformed them, then they will give good for good, of course. And never give evil for good, or not knowingly or willingly. But if they've not been transformed by the experience, then they will continue to give evil for good. And you must keep them at a distance, except when they're in dire need and crying out for help, or would cry out for help. Then you rescue where you can, where God gives you opportunity, not where God does not. Be reasonable, dear one. Protect heaven, protect the righteous, the good, those that love, those that would give good for good, and protect them from those that would give evil for good. Put such at great distance. Sure, you will hear when they cry out for true help in desperation. Rescue those in dire need, not those that aren't. They're there to experience good and evil. If they're desperate and cry out for help, well, then you want to help them, and where you can, do. Where you can't, don't. God knows better than you. Is this a callousness, a hardness? No, it's trusting it to God. You have to trust it to God, that those that are kept afar off are kept afar off for a good reason. And yes, you do help them in their immediate situation where they're in dire distress and cry out. And you're the one that's travelling on the road and notice it. And if God doesn't want you to notice it, then of course he'll keep you afar off. Let me pause.